All right, another example, print backwards. If you look carefully, you'll see that there are two methods here. That's because this method is a helper for this method. So this method calls this method. This is not indirect recursion, okay? For indirect recursion, this method needs to call this method, and then this method call that method. So they're calling each other. That's not the case here. What we have here is this method is one that exposes itself outside this class because it's public, and this method is private, only happening within this class. What I'm going to do is show a mistake. And the mistake I'm going to make is I am going to call this method the private one. I can because I'm inside the same class. If I was outside, I would not be able to do that. But because I'm inside this class, and this is the one that's not supposed to be exposed, I'm going to show you a mistake. See this 4? It's supposed to be a 3 because cake is 0, 1, 2, 3. N is the last index. Now, if I call it with a 4, I'm going to go out of bounds. Run it, see, index out of bounds, and it tells me specifically at 4. But if I call it with a 3, it's going to work. It's going to print the cake backwards. That's me using the private method, the one that's not exposed. So if you're writing methods and you have an integer, some index or something like that, and you want to write it with the index, just make a helper method and then call it with the correct index. Realize I'm calling with word.length minus 1, which would always be the last index. So when the person sees this method to call, all they have to do is put the word in. That's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to call this again, but this time I'm not going to put the index in. So I am going to just do a print here, system.out, print ln, nothing inside. I'm just going to drop to a new line. And then I'm going to run this again to show you that both of them are going to print cake backwards. But this is the visible one, where you just give me cake. Don't give me the index. I'll take care of that for you in the private method. And then once you do that, then this is the correct way to do it. So if you have two methods, one that helps the other one, the one that's helping is going to be private. The one that it's helping is going to be private. The one that you expose is going to be public. So that one is going to be the one that's going to be called outside the class. So that's the correct call right here. All right. So realize something about this method though. It is recursion because, the method keeps calling itself, right? It prints the last character and the second to last character because I'm subtracting 1 every time from n if n is the last character. This is a print before you push, but it's going backwards. So it's going in the right order. It's kind of tricky here. So it's going backwards, going in the right order. But if I were to reverse these, it will spell cake the way it's actually spelled with C-A-K-E. Okay, so we got to be mindful of the fact that I'm trying to print backwards and I'm actually going backwards with the index, as opposed to when we were doing the print before you push and push before you print, and we're doing the word forward. Okay, don't confuse those two. A little tricky here, but you got to pay attention. All right, here's the key though. Can you draw the stack?